I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're exploring the soul-stirring collection called Encore, a collection of poetry by the internationally recognized poet Zaneta Varnado Johns. This compilation is not just a book, it's a spiritual journey, a testament to love, and a reflection on the human condition, sparked by the author's own profound appreciation for life and her experiences. The book is a heartfelt response to the acclaim of her previous works, featuring 99 select poems that traverse from romantic musings to poignant observations on contemporary issues. We're delighted to have this wonderful writer join us here today on Spotlight. We thank her team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Zaneta, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Hello, Logan. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. I'm a big fan. Tell us a little bit about your book, Encore. It's a response to the audience's appreciation of your other collection, correct?
Correct. I had not planned to publish another poetry collection as soon as I did, but this one, Encore, is your encore. My readers and supporters kept asking for more. My publisher, Prolific Pulse Press, wanted to work with me to publish another book, and she felt that it was warranted that a nomination or to submit it for consideration for the Pulitzer Prize. I thought that was an honor in and of itself, so I completed the book. She published it, we published it, and it has been submitted for Pulitzer consideration.
That's exciting. That's exciting. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. It
Cross your
deserves
fingers.
the
Yes.
recognition. Tell the folks at home what they'll find within the pages of Encore.
Within Encore, you'll find poems that cover romance. I like to write when I travel. I write about the human condition. I write a lot when things agitate me. I try to put a positive spin on it, but I have to get the feelings out. And so I've said that poetry is my second language. I believe that every word shared is an opportunity to love. I love through my expressions. So within the book, you will find poems that talk about hunger, homelessness, gun violence. There's so many things, women's issues, social justice issues. And then there are poems that celebrate people. I love to celebrate people. I write about grief. I write about love. Everything's in there.
Wonderful.
My life's experiences, yes.
Now, it's like asking you to choose among your children, but is there a poem in there that you particularly are fond of that you'd like to read to us today?
Well, sure. Thanks for asking. I do have a poem within this book. I have another poem, if you don't mind, that's not in the book.
Sure.
That's one of my most requested poems. I have to share that one first, if that's all
Okay,
right.
absolutely. Let's hear that one first, without a doubt.
Okay. This poem, What Matters, was actually nominated for a Pushcart Prize in poetry. And I wrote it in 1999, Logan. And when I decided to publish my first book, Poetic Forecast, there were so many things, so many issues that were going on at the time. So I added a couple verses to make it current. I'm going to share with you what matters. If my eyes met your eyes in the midst of a crisis, would their shape and color concern you? If you felt my hands as they massaged your aching body, would you care about the pigmentation of my skin? If I gave blood to replenish your low supply, would you need to know that I looked like you? If you were drowning and I dove in to assist you, would you reach toward me if you knew I was gay? If you were hearing for the first time in your life, would you need for my voice to speak English only? If your loved one lay sick and dying, would it matter to which God I prayed? If I donated money to support your favorite cause, would you refuse it if you knew how I voted?
Hmm.
If the size of my heart increased each time I helped somebody, would you be more interested in the size of my body? If you asked me to walk a mile in support of humanity, would you get impatient if I used my wheelchair? If I said no and you assaulted me anyway, are you less guilty because I waited to report? If my family seeks asylum in the USA, are we not welcome because our border is to your south? If the police force keeps killing unarmed citizens, would you demand justice if they are African American? With civil unrest during this global pandemic, trust me, we will soon realize what matters. Thank you. It was
Wow.
long.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And I think it just cuts to the heart of the commonalities of being human, right?
Yes,
I
the
mean, so it
human
doesn't matter if
experience.
you're black, white, green, purple, orange, polka dot, you
Correct.
know, when you need blood, when you need a rescue, when you need a cop, when you need whatever it
Yes,
is. I mean, that's when we're really colorblind. I mean, we're not calling up the cops and say, "Oh, send a Latino officer, please, and a
that's right.
transgendered officer to my
Correct.
house." You're saying, "Send the
Correct.
police," right? So
That's
I think
right.
that's great. I mean, I think I can't imagine a circumstance that you almost didn't cover there.
I
And so
think I
it's
tried
very
to cover.
inclusive in its
Yeah.
reach. And at first I was going to say it, you know, it really achieves Dr. King's colorblind dream. And it does, but it goes beyond that because it
It goes.
looks at gender and our national boundaries and all of the things that in many cases are just imagined. You know
Mm-hmm,
what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Or just
Yep.
arbitrarily put there, you know, where
Yep.
Mexico is in the United States is what makes a black
Exactly.
person, what makes a white person, you know, what makes a man, what
That's
makes a
right.
woman. It's
Right.
a lot of it, you know, is up to interpretation,
Yes. Yes.
is Barack
And when I
Obama a black man or is he a white man or is he mixed race? Well, all three of those are true, right?
but what really matters?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's beautiful, beautiful. I loved it. I loved it. And I can
Thank
see
you.
why you've
Thank
gotten such recognition. I can see why you're up for consideration for a Pulitzer because it's beautiful, beautiful work. Now I'm
thank
going
you.
to ask you to turn to the pages of your new book, or maybe have it
Okay.
memorized,
All right.
which also you should get
Kind
props
of.
for because it's not easy to memorize something
It's
that's that
not.
long. Yeah,
It's not easy, especially when I'm writing. I'm either writing or editing or reading someone else's work. So
right.
the
So a lot of
memory is
words are
a
up
little.
there. Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
exactly.
So the next poem is from the new book, Encore.
Okay.
And this one I had written for a contest for the Passion of Poetry, where the administrators were asked to write about their inspiration. And
Mhm.
it actually won Grand Champion, the Grand Champion Prize. So I'm proud of this one. This one is titled Why I Write.
Mhm.
I watched Nikki Giovanni trip over her ego. I witnessed the phenomenal Maya Angelou rise. How could I not be mesmerized? Countless strong women preceded me, nurtured me, surrounded me. I honor them as I nudge the next generation of women to write, trip, rise. My pen, my weapon, my best friend, mouthpiece for my muse. It remembers what Nikki said. It remembers what Maya said. It remembers what my parents said.
Mhm.
It shares my truth as it repeats what God says. I write to spread love. I write to heal, help, and honor. I write to leave a footprint, my literary mark. I want my great, great, great grandchildren to know that I was here. I want them to know how and what I felt. I want them to speak their truth. I want them to know what matters. This is why I write. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank
Again,
you.
beautiful, very heartfelt, and explains exactly why you write. And you're achieving all of that you wish to accomplish, which is nice too, because your grandchildren and future generations will always remember you because you have a legacy now, which is great. And a legacy that continues to grow with each book of poetry that you put out. How long have you been a poet? And how many books do you have out there? And what are you working on now? That was 3 questions in one.
3 questions. How many? Okay. I have been a poet. I've been writing poetry since age 18 when I saw the phenomenal Nikki Giovanni as a student in college. I started writing poetry after that. I was inspired by Nikki Giovanni. I have three poetry collections. The first one is Poetic Forecast. My second collection was published in 2022, and it's titled After the Rainbow. The books are behind me. And then my new book, Encore. I also published a journal titled The What Matters Journal. It's a weekly guide. It's unique. It is for reflection, organization, self-care, mindfulness, etc.
Wonderful.
Those are my personal books.
That's great. Do you have a website, or should people just go to Amazon to find your works?
My works are on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, wherever books are sold online. My website is www.zanexpressions.com.
zanexpressions.com. Excellent. And the links are below this interview as well. So the folks who want to find out more about you, keep up with your latest works. Are you working on anything right now?
Logan, I write every day. Excellent. I am working on something that will be published in the fall. I'm not sure how long it'll be, but of course it's another poetry collection.
Well, you're not only a great writer, you're also a great performer, because you really read your work so well, which is an important part of it. Yeah, wonderful,
means beautiful. A lot I appreciate that. Thank you.
My pleasure, my pleasure. The name of the book is Encore, a collection of poetry, and it is a wonderful book. It's a compilation of works, of poems that is a spiritual journey, a testament to love, and a reflection on so many aspects of society and the human condition. You've heard a couple of samples there. Wonderful work. Zaneta, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thanks for having me, Logan. It's been fun.
It's been my pleasure. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.